My problem with this, as I think about it, is if you're like a traveler, you're like you're a truck driver who travels the
Oh
country, just
no.
serial assassinating toilets across the land, and they're all like, "No, no!" blah."
Oh, dude. I think about like truck stop toilets that are just like, all right, bud, just do what you need to do. Hello. Welcome back to Time Well Met, the podcast where the topics are made up and the intro doesn't matter. If you're joining us for the first time, or if you're a returning listener, hello and welcome. We like to talk about a number of different things here. We like to talk about the goings-ons of the internet. We like to talk about video games, and we like to talk about our most important topic, which is mental health and how that relates to our personal lives. I am Silas, and I'm joined by the man who might have actually solved all of North Korea's problems, Kirby. How are you doing today?
It's a huge honor. Kim Jong contacted me. He personally thanked me. I put him in touch with Mia and
And
Tim Denny.
Denny's?
Yeah, Tim Denny.
Tim
He's
Denny.
working on hooking him up. And Mia, we're getting a blimp, dude. It's a huge thing, and I'm really proud of it.
The wheels are fucking turning, man. Holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Time well meant is gonna lead to world peace.
I mean,
just saying.
listen, I think we just need a world map, and we just need to throw a dart. You know how people like throw darts like, "Oh, where are we going to travel to?" We're going to throw darts and then just solve all of their problems.
Cool.
That's what we got to do. Easy. I think some countries are going to be much easier than others, but I think everyone's got their issues. We'll do it.
What do we do when we hit like Antarctica?
Check mark right next to we're done.
As soon as the dart hits it, check.
Yeah.
Time well meant, dude. This shit's easy.
We'll be like environmental conservation, check mark, boom, like you know, like I said, somewhere gonna be easy.
You just throw one bottle in the recycle, saving the penguins. Next.
It's as easy as that. Oh man, all right, let's get it out of the way now. It's been 2 weeks. I have watched a shitload of SVU. I'm very sad about what's happened. I'm on season 17. If you know, you know. If you don't, I'm not gonna tell you because we're not talking about fucking SVU today. But a lot's happened in the past 2 weeks. Kirby, you made a cheeky little purchase. Do you want to talk about that?
It wasn't cheeky and it was not little. All right. Now listen, I'm not proud of it, but I am so proud of it.
Okay.
I mean, my wallet, it's
Yeah.
crying. It is crying for mercy, but that money's gone and that 5080 is installed. And she looks good. She looks fat, dude. She looks thick.
Oh yeah, I can throw
like
the
3
I can throw the
C's
picture
and a
up.
Q.
Ugh. You know, it's funny. It's like, I guess because I hadn't really seen the comparisons of the 40 series because I never really, you know, I have a 3080 and I don't have like a need to upgrade or really the ability to right now. But even still, it's like one of those things that I didn't really look at any videos or any comparisons about like size or performance or anything like that with the 40 series or the 50 series. But seeing the 50 series compared to, because you got a 5080, right? And you had a 3080.
5080. Yep.
It's the size comparison's absolutely fucking nuts. Like I said, I'll throw the picture that you posted in Discord up. But holy shit, it's a giant fucking card.
This bitch is 13.7 inches long. And my old case was not 13.7 inches long. We had to, due to poor planning, poor execution, we had to run to Best Buy and buy a new case.
Oh shit.
But she's in there. She looks glorious. She runs great. Played nothing but Marvel and Rocket League and American Truck Simulator so far, but we're gonna get it. I downloaded Cyberpunk. I'm gonna use it. But you know, that this is something where I didn't actually need it. You know, I had a 3080. It was fine. I play in 1440 at 144. Everything, it's honestly fine. But I'm kind of a big boy with a big boy job who makes big boy money, all right? And I pay all my fucking bills, and I can buy what I want.
Yeah,
So I bought that 5080. I got it at MSRP. Let me tell you, I spent a month and a half, maybe about a month and a half, I had an email alert set up. So it would say 3080 in stock. You'd click the link. It would take you to Amazon or Best Buy or Newegg or whatever. I'd hit add to cart, out of stock.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I saw that. How many times I saw that. And then this one day, it was so like serendipitous. My coworker, I don't know if I've ever mentioned this, but I have a coworker he's a cool guy. He's a good guy ultimately, but he's a little bit into scalping, and he has bots set up. And he doesn't generally do GPUs. He's a lot into like Pokemon cards and Stanley Cups. That motherfucker makes money on Stanley Cups.
I feel like yeah. You told me about him.
But I was having a conversation with him that morning about the 5080s and how I'm trying to get one. He's like, dude, just give up. You're not going to beat the bots, man. You won't beat the bots. And then, I don't know, an hour later, I get the email. I click, I add to cart. It's in my goddamn cart, dude. I hit confirm, and I went, woo! Like, man. In the middle of work, dude, I just stood up. It was beautiful. I beat those fucking bots.
You beat those bots. Wow.
I beat those bots.
Oh, man. Like a Marvel Rivals game after a 4-loss streak. You beat the fuck out of those bots, and you got that win. Holy shit. That's awesome.
I was in such a rush. It automatically set for a store pickup at a Best Buy that was like 40 minutes away, by the way. So I had to fucking drive for it. But I got it, baby.
Holy shit. That's fucking crazy. Yeah, because I think that's after you got it after the LAN party, right? That your wife had for her birthday? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna say when we were there, I don't think you had it at that point.
Didn't have. Even if I did, it would have still been in the box because I didn't have the power supply.
True.
I didn't have a big enough case.
Yeah. I feel like every time that I've planned an upgrade for my computer, I always think about like, okay, well, what all am I upgrading, right? Like anytime I'm like, well, I need a new processor, I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm gonna need a new motherboard. And if I'm getting a new motherboard, do I want to get a new case? If I get a new case, well, then that means so like I always plan out. Like the last time I upgraded my computer, I replaced everything except for my drives. Like I think I added an M.2, excuse me, but everything else was just like, fuck it, I guess we're gonna figure this shit out and buy all this new stuff. And I bought it piece by piece and just finally got the chance to put everything together. For the 3080 build. So
I just foolishly assumed it wouldn't be such a chunk.
Yeah.
I mean, if it would have fit in my case, it would have been fine. But I did want a new power supply. Mm-hmm. My old one, it would have been fine, but it was getting on the older side. I had that from like, just like you just said, I did a full rebuild a couple, maybe 2-3 years ago where I got a new processor, a new motherboard, new RAM, and I kept the same case and power supply.
Yeah.
So that power supply was aging, and I just didn't. Have you heard some of the stories or
about
reports of like 3090s and 3080s melting power supplies?
Well, I've heard stories about 5090s or 5090s and I think 5080s as well, just absolutely like bursting into flame. That's going to happen with any release, I feel like, nowadays.
From my research, it's like 95% of that is 5090s because they can actually crank over 600 watts through. And then NVIDIA made a new connector that premiered, I believe, with the 30 series.
Okay.
That's like smaller. So you have 2 of those 8-pin wires from your power supply go to an adapter, and then it goes into one smaller connector. They use that on the Founders Edition. It didn't happen as much on the...
So I was going to say, I have the 2 8-pins on my 3080.
Yeah, because you have a EVGA,
I have an EVGA
or something?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, so EVGA did that on the 30 series, but NVIDIA had their new deal. And then it went to the 40 series. Some of the other manufacturers started doing it too. But if you start really deep diving in this on the research of like power conductivity and thermals and things, that adapter is not good past 600 watts. And a 5090 goes over 600 watts at times, whereas a 5080 stays under. But even so, I was like, I want a new power supply. And the new power supply that I got has that adapter as one of the cables. So I'm not using 8 pins into a connector into the graphics card. It's going straight from the power supply to the graphics card.
Okay, that's good. That's good. That's better than, because anytime you have to like do an adapter before plugging in just like raw power, I just always feel like, it's kind of, I don't know about this, Chief. Yeah.
You're adding a point of failure.
Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, I'm not the fucking... a lot of this shit, I'm just like, I'm still learning every day about computers and It's funny now, kind of having been in this world for so long, because like people will talk to me about like especially when we go to like QuakeCon or whatever, and people talk to me about their builds or like things that they're doing, and I just had to be like, yeah, man, that's crazy. Like just nod and be like, yeah, absolutely. There was one year where oh son of a bitch, it's not Elite Dangerous, but the other space sim that I
Star
play,
Citizen.
Star Citizen. I was talking to this guy because he had a whole HOTAS setup, I think, in front of me. Oh no, he was playing Star Citizen, and I was like, oh man, I love Star Citizen.
Was that
And
one of our sister group guys?
no, it's just a random.
Okay.
This was like 2 years ago. This is when we first went back to QuakeCon, and the guy in front of me was playing, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, hey, whatever. And he goes, oh man, and he starts like info dumping to me about different weapon mounts and like all this other shit, and I was like, that's hell yeah, man, that's crazy. Like, and I'm like, I'm too nice to be like, oh, I have no idea, brother. I don't know what to tell you, because I feel like to me, if I start like info dumping on somebody and they go, it's one thing to be like, oh, I didn't know that, but to be like, oh, I don't know anything about that. Like you're kind of going overboard. It feels like I don't want to shit on people. Like it feels
Interesting.
mean. You know what I mean? Like, does that make sense? Am I making any sense at all?
Because if somebody's passionate enough about a thing to start info dumping like that,
Yeah.
like their passion is sort of spewing upon you. So I can understand why it would feel rude, and I can relate to that. But I don't ever want to be like, I don't want to bullshit somebody.
Well, that's
So
the thing.
I'll be pretty quick to be like, dude, I love this game. I'm in it. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I think the thing about it is I'll never give information. I'll be like, I'll give information. The only time I'll give information on a subject is if I'm knowledgeable about it, right? If I know things, if you ask me about, fucking Overwatch 1 team compositions, I could absolutely fucking info dump on you about that, right? Um, that's easy because have a lot of hours in that game and a lot of time. I know that. But if you start talking to me about fucking the aerodynamics of American Truck Simulator, like, sorry, but I don't know. I don't know what to
All right,
tell
now
you.
let me tell you about the Peterbilt.
Oh shit. Oh man. I think it's funny too that you mentioned about playing American, because you told me before we started recording about how you were like, oh, I just need like a cozy game or like a chill game is what you called it, I think. I think
I
everyone
called it a
fucking.
de-stress
Oh, sorry, a
game
de-stress game. My bad. My bad.
because I was getting my ass just spanked red in Marvel last night, and I was like, you know what, fuck this. I need something chill. I need something de-stress. So I threw on that good old American Truck Simulator, and I was cruising down the highway of New Mexico doing 90, making real dangerous turns, passing people, dude. I got in like 4 accidents. I was listening to a good podcast.
Hell yeah.
I felt way better than when that Spider-Man was repeatedly giving me the spanks.
Yeah. The sticky spanks.
The sticky spanks. Those are the worst.
Yeah, man. Dude, I've been playing I'm gonna give you a blast from the past that you might not be aware of. Did you ever play, I believe the game came out in 2006. It's a PS2 game called The Godfather.
I
That was
never actually played it.
based on the first Godfather movie.
Oh, is that based on a film franchise?
Yeah. Dude, I just recently, because I played it again through totally legal means,
Right.
and fantastic. Such a fantastic game. It's one of those games that like there were systems put into that game that were so interesting that I was like, man, for the time this was like pretty advanced. There was each the only thing that would have like taken it up a notch in my opinion, like is an addition to the system that I'll talk about in just a second. But that you have like the combat system, the way that you fight people, you do like the right stick to kind of like pull your punches back, or like you can do like super punches by like pushing the stick down and pushing it up. And it just felt like you were actually like throwing that punch, right? You
Wait,
had
this is the Godfather? That sounds like Fight Night.
no. So you had, because you had the ability to like grab people and like jerk them around and like throw them through windows or like slam their heads on desks and break shit. You could extort businesses,
Cool.
which was such a crazy, like, it felt super like interesting because you either had to like extort them through like your sheer like being well known enough, or you have to like beat them up or destroy something or like find their weak spot, what their weakness is. And the only thing that I would have liked is if the other families would have been able to take over the territories, but they don't do that. Once you take over like a business or something, they just keep it. The only thing they can do is
Yeah.
blow it up, but whatever. And like, but if you fuck with certain families too much, like it starts gang wars, and so then like, you know, if you come across those families, they'll shoot on you on site. And you have to like blow up one of their businesses or like pay off an FBI agent. So many of the like, so much of it was so interesting to me. And I forgot how just like intricate and amazing the game is. And like the story follows basically the movie, beat for beat all the way through to the end. It was, it's incredible. Like, holy shit. With just the addition of like your character. But oh man, what a fucking game.
You played the entire game?
The entire
recently?
game.
Like
Yeah,
in the last 2 weeks?
Yeah. Well, the
God
thing about it is,
damn.
it only it was like a 20-hour playthrough. Like not even. I think it was like 18 hours. That was the thing too, is I was like, man, I forgot how short this game was. Because I felt like when I played it before, I think because I was just a dumb kid, man, it felt so much harder. And it was like, and I mean, don't get me wrong, the game is hard in certain aspects, but like, no, once you fucking figure out how to play, it's like, all right, it's fucking easy. But
Once you're a pro gamer, a
Yeah.
grown man.
it's much easier now. It's so much easier now that I've been playing games for, 20 plus years, 25 plus years now. God damn, I'm old.
On the topic of The Godfather, have we
Uh-huh.
ever discussed like movies? Are you a big movie guy?
It's funny that you asked that. So I'm not a big movie guy. I do like movies. Like if like I would say I'm well versed. I've seen a lot of movies, and I have very specific movies. It's really funny that you asked this, because I was actually one of the things that I did want to ask you before that I'm bringing up now is about movies that you like to rewatch. Because there's certain series of movies that I like to rewatch. Like I'll watch any of the Alien movies, not Alien versus Predator,
Yeah.
but
Wow.
any of, and I really don't even like Predator's okay. It's kind of mid in my opinion. Even the first Predator's fucking mid in my opinion. I don't care what anybody says. The first Alien is a goddamn masterpiece. The second Alien is an absolute divulgent from the original story, still a fucking masterpiece, right? Predator 1, it's all right. Predator 2, I love the Danny Glover. I don't care, but still, But oh man, dude, Alien 1 and 2, and even Alien 3 is kind of mid. 4 is absolute dog shit, but it's hilarious for just how campy it is. And then you have Prometheus, which I love, and then
Prometheus, love it.
love Prometheus.
Yeah, dude.
I love Alien
Covenant.
Covenant, which I'm very sad because I learned that there was a possible third movie that was supposed to be in that series that then leads into the beginning of Alien, where
So it was a sequel prequel.
it was a sequel prequel. It was supposed to be a
Cool.
trilogy. It didn't happen. But I also love the new movie, Alien
Romulus.
Romulus. Romulus is so good.
I didn't see that one yet.
Dude.
Shit.
Oh, it's so good. It's a callback to the original Alien that pays its respects but also does new shit, and it's fucking so good.
Cool.
I love the game too. Alien Isolation.
Colonial Marines.
Yeah, Colonial Marines. Yeah, Colonial Marines is actually kind of fun. But
Dude, I have the craziest story about Aliens Colonial Marines sometime, but go ahead.
Okay. But those, well, I'll have to wrap up right now. That franchise of movies plus the Batman, which is like a 3-hour movie that I've seen. I'm not fucking with you. Maybe
With-
12 times. The Robert Pattinson Batman.
Ah, the foot guy.
Yeah. The foot guy? What the fuck? Is he a foot guy?
No, his face kind of looks like a foot if you really look at it.
He's in my favorite Batman movie. I own that movie, digital and Blu-ray and DVD.
And illegal.
And,
I mean, no.
Yeah.
No.
I own I own it on fucking VHS.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
I got the soundtrack on cassette.
I've legitimately watched that movie, I want to say now probably like 12 times. And I'm not talking about like in the background. I'm talking about I sat down and I watched that movie. I love it.
Dude. Okay, so this is a good jumping off point of why I asked this initial question.
Mm-hmm.
I am not a movie guy.
Really?
And part of it is if you tell me this is the best movie you've ever seen and you need to watch it, or you'll ever see, you need to watch it. And I look at the runtime and it's 3 hours, I'm fucking out. I am out. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Really?
Yeah.
See,
But I've missed out on stuff, and I've come back and I've sat down and watched these 3 hour long movies, and I'm like, damn, it was so good.
Yeah.
I was missing out. But just, man, that 3 hours, good God.
No, I absolutely get that. I think yeah, for a little while. Well, no, I say that. I think because of like the Lord of the Rings extended editions, that those movies are kind of like my introductory to longer movie. Because I mean, I think the last movie is like 4 goddamn hours or some dumb
Dude,
shit like that. It's
those had to
ridiculous.
have been those had to have been like the first long movies ever.
I
It's
think
kind of
that
my similar experience. Like when Lord of the Rings came out, like holy shit, this is long, but it's worth it.
yeah, I think the total watch time for the extended edition trilogy is something like 12 hours or some dumb shit. I don't know if it's that exact. It's some crazy like 10 hours or some dumb shit. Like it's fucking ridiculous. It takes an entire day. And like when you think about time, um, and how finite it is, um, it's hard to justify to some people like sitting down and watching, you're right, like a 3-hour movie. For me, I love it, man. I love like The Irishman is a great fucking movie. If you've never seen The Irishman, if you want a long form to Scorsese film, it's fantastic. It tells the story of the mob and Jimmy Hoffa and that kind of era of mafia. I don't think the story is obviously, I think with any mafia film there's going to be inaccuracies or artistic changes, but there's just some interesting stuff that kind of delves into that kind of era of film or era of time. I mean, and the film is just fantastic. It's well shot, well acted. Fucking De Niro, you can't go wrong with fucking De Niro. Robert De Niro is just an amazing actor. Um, but no, I mean, I don't know. I think movies are one of those things that kind of have been a staple of my life, whether they're just kind of background noise. I use movies to just kind of like throw it on, go to bed, or throw it on, just have in the background, whatever. My girlfriend's the same way. She'll just throw something on. Show because I'm just not I guess the opposite end of that spectrum is I'm not a big TV show guy. I don't watch a lot of TV shows. So
And that's where we're gonna part ways here. Because I don't know why, but if you tell me a movie's 3 hours, I'm like, nah, dude, ain't got time for that. But you tell me this show is cool. You tell me this show is cool, and I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna watch like 8 episodes in a row, which is probably like 4 hours.
Yeah. I don't know what that is, man. I don't know what that is because I
But
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, but really, the thing of it is, I like to warn people. If I meet a person and we start kind of bonding as friends or coworkers or whatever, and they're a movie person, I like to warn them ahead of time. If you ask me if I have seen a movie, I'm gonna let you down 9 times out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I've never seen The Matrix.
Man, fuck. Here's the thing: if you were to say, "Oh, I've never seen Reloaded or Revolutions or even the Animatrix or like the new one," I haven't seen the new one because who fucking cares? But the fact
There's
you
a
haven't
new
seen,
one?
yeah, there's one that came out in 2023, I think, that did not
Really?
do well. I haven't seen it, yeah. Um, but the fact that you haven't seen the original Matrix, that's surprising. That's very surprising. It's such a
Yeah.
classic fucking movie that like, I mean, really shaped an era. Felt like, I mean, holy shit, that was I mean, the one of the until Deadpool came out, it held the highest like gross income for a rated R movie ever.
Oh, really?
That was 20 fucking years basically of holding that number one spot. It was that fucking good of a movie.
When did that come out? It was like late 90s, right?
Yeah, late 90s, early 2000s, something like that. Because I know that so Reloaded and Revolutions came out within a year of each other because they filmed them at the same time. Because I think that was 2002 and 2003, and I think the original Matrix came out in 98. I think I could be wrong. I'm really not good with years on some of these things, but I do believe it was late 90s. Such a fucking like era defined. I saw that movie when I was way too goddamn young to watch it for sure. I think I was only like 10. But oh man, such a good movie, dude. What the fuck? I can't believe. I mean, here's the thing. I've met plenty of people like that. I've had friends in my lifetime that are that same way where they're just like, I just don't like movies or I just don't watch movies like that. Again, I'm the same way with shows. If you ask me if I've seen this, I'm like, probably not. Is it Community? I've seen that.
Is it It's Always Sunny? Because I've seen that.
I haven't seen that. I've seen like sporadic episodes on like FX, but I'm like,
Dude, I want you to watch It's Always Sunny, and let's turn this into an It's Always Sunny fan cast, because that's actually the greatest show that's ever been filmed.
Isn't there already a fan
I'll stand
cast?
on
And
it.
it's just the fucking people who did the show that are like
Oh,
doing
don't
the
get me started.
podcast?
Don't get me started on the podcast, because they started that shit. It was great. It was one of the best podcasts that's ever been recorded. Not really, but it was a great podcast. And then one day, out of nowhere, they just stopped doing it. And then they didn't say anything about it. Like,
Really?
they had a whole team dedicated to this podcast. It was at least the three main dudes,
Yeah.
Charlie, Glenn, and Robert. Charlie, Glenn. Yeah, Rob. Charlie, Glenn, and Rob.
Oh, yeah.
It was the three main guys, and they had a producer, and she was like really prevalent in the show. Like, she would be on and speaking constantly.
Okay.
And then one day, it just stops. And there's like radio silence, and there was people on Reddit, people on Twitter, everywhere. Like, where the fuck's the show? What's going on? What the hell? What the hell? And they just radio silence. And then it took, I think, a month or two, maybe 2 months. And they're finally like, yeah, we're not going to do the podcast anymore. It was fun, guys. And people still bitch. People are still pissed. But the actual show is so goddamn good that
It
barely
cancels
takes
it out.
away. Yeah, not cancels it out. It barely
Oh.
takes away.
Gotcha.
Man, that show. Do you know how
There's-
many It's Always Sunny quotes I've slid into this show?
I'm sure a bajillion. The only quote that I know from It's Always Sunny is "Wild card, bitches." Is that it?
Wild card, bitches. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Man, yeah, I don't know. I'm just not a big shows guy. When it comes to anime, I've watched quite a bit of anime, but even that, like,
Those are shows.
but it's such a backlog of like what I want to watch and like versus what I have watched, I guess, if that makes sense. Like I even when you compare me to like a normal anime enjoyer, I've probably watched like a fraction of what people have watched. I've watched a number of anime, but it's not on the same level. Now I've watched some really long anime, but more often than not, I'll read the manga because it's just I don't have fucking time because they too much goddamn exposition and shit. I don't give a fuck what y'all are saying. Get to the part that I'm ready for. I don't know. I don't know. There's certain
Just
shows
fake
though
fans.
that,
We're
there's certain
fake fans.
Well, no, you just talked about how angry. I don't think that's a fake fan to be like, fuck these motherfuckers for fucking my favorite podcast up.
I'll still tune in, man. Day one when they released season, what are they on? 18 now?
Are they?
For It's Always Sunny. So It's Always Sunny, within the past couple of years, they became the longest running live action sitcom comedy.
Damn. That's kind of crazy. I mean, props
They
to them.
passed Seinfeld.
I only know the story of how the whole first season didn't have Danny DeVito, and then they somehow got Danny DeVito in the second season through someone that they knew or something like
Dude,
that.
the whole first season was filmed on like a handycam handheld camera with like
Yeah.
$50 budgets. And then it was just good enough that FX started giving them a little funding. And somehow, some way, they got Danny DeVito. And it's all, dude, to see an award-winning actor that is Danny DeVito, who's also a stand-up amazing, he's a good dude.
Yeah.
Danny DeVito's a good dude.
He is a good dude.
And then he's on It's Always Sunny naked, crawling out of a couch. Yeah. It's so good.
Man.
Yeah.
Fucking Danny DeVito. What a powerhouse actor. Oh man. I completely lost my train of thought about what I was gonna jump off from that, but
I'm over here thinking about the It's Always Sunny fan cast I'm gonna start.
yeah. your side project.
Mm-hmm. It might be my solo project, but I'm gonna fly.
Dude, fucking do it, man. Do it. Revitalize. I feel like there's a lot of really solid fandoms out there. The funny thing is mentioning the Always Sunny podcast. It's funny to me that there's a lot of older shows that have those like casted podcasts. To give you an example, there's the Soprano kids. The kids who
they
played
did it too?
the two actors that play the kids of Tony Soprano have a podcast. There's like the Ned's Declassified podcast that I think kind of
that was a whole dramatic thing.
Yeah, it's a pretty dramatic thing. There's the
Letterkenny.
The Letterkenny.
Letterkenny's doing it too.
So many of these
Spare Heart's actually a really solid podcast if you're into Letterkenny.
There you go. So all these, it just reminds me of like all these like kind of actors and sitcom personalities that are like making these fucking podcasts. I don't know. It's just interesting.
I guess it's kind of funny because with It's Always Sunny, it's still a live, ongoing show, but with all these other ones that we've mentioned,
they're dead as fucking.
They're done.
Doorknobs. Yeah.
Did I say I just have to correct myself here. Did I say Spare Hearts because it's Spare Parts?
Oh, Spare Parts. Yeah. You did
It
say
is
spare
called
hearts.
the Spare Part. Okay, but it's Spare Parts Podcast, and they have a section in the show called Spare Hearts.
Oh, okay.
Just to clarify, I don't want the
Interesting.
angry emails. You know, we get thousands of them.
Now, dude, listen. Deborah, who handles all of our fan mail, she's been sending us emails about the emails, and it's kind of getting intense, guys. We need you to chill out. We need to chill out. Deborah's the new hire.
I feel like we hired Deborah for something else, though.
She handles a number of things. She handles everything that Sarah doesn't, which is Sarah only handles accounting.
Everything.
And Deborah handles scheduling, emails,
scheduling.
She handles
20 minutes late tonight.
Yeah. She handles production. I was trying to teach her how to edit. It's not happening.
Useless.
Not happening. She won't.
Are you confusing Deborah with your cat?
Pollen? No. Pollen doesn't edit. Pollen, in fact, hampers or harms the edit. Pollen is regularly like interrupting the edit. I have to now. It's so funny, man. He's gotten to the point now where like he's so fucking smart. It pisses me off, man, because he knows how to get my attention in ways that just like barely don't annoy me. Right. So used to, let me give you an example. He used to jump up on my lap, and because he's a kitten, he doesn't really know he doesn't control his nails all the time. So he digs them into my fucking thigh. And I would freak out, and it would freak him out because I'd be like, ah, you know, and kind of like jump out of my chair because it hurt so bad. Especially if I'm like wearing shorts and he's like bare skin into my, and then he would hop, you know, because he liked to sleep up on my table. Now he knows that because I would move him around so much. He's like, motherfucker, I'm just trying to sleep. So now he sleeps on his bed because he doesn't want to be up here and get moved around. He's figured it out. The other thing too is he's figured out if he puts his paws up on my thigh and he just kind of he knows that I'll pick him up because I don't want him fucking jumping up on me and digging his nails into me. Dude, he's so big brained. Yeah. It upsets me to no end.
It's not that he's big brained. It's actually that he has trained you.
That's true. That's super true.
That's how cats work. You don't train them. They train you.
Absolutely.
Dude, for at least a year, maybe two, of me and my wife's relationship, where we had our room and we had our cat Willow. I love that cat, but she's a goddamn menace. All right, J. Jonah Jameson, she's a goddamn menace. And every morning at like 5:30 to 6 a.m., she would come into our bedroom while we're sound asleep, and she would jump up on a shelf real quietly and just like knock a little trinket over, just enough to make like a little jingly tinkly sound, and that would wake up my wife every time. And then she would go and either feed the cat, or at one point, like, we got an automatic cat feeder to get rid of that problem. So then the cat trained her to, when I do this in the morning, let me in the garage so I can go explore.
Interesting.
And my wife would wake up every morning and put her in the garage, and I was like, you have to stop. She's trained you. As long as you do it, it will continue.
The other thing that he'll wake me up in the middle of the night. He doesn't do it now because it's gotten a little warmer, but when it was cold, he would wake me up in the middle of the night by either crawling up on my hair or getting right up on my shoulders, right? And then he would wait for me to lift the covers up so that way he would crawl underneath and then get right next to my hip, and that's where he'd fall asleep. And he'd be there all night until he had to, unless he was like, I was like, oh man, I gotta go get some food, or I gotta get some water, or I gotta use the litter box or whatever. All right, I'm coming back. And then he'd crawl back, and he would wait and wake me up, and then I'm like half asleep, and there he goes.
He's got you trained.
Oh, absolutely.
You're gonna deal with that.
Absolutely.
You're gonna deal with that for the rest of his life.
You know, it's a sacrifice. I think the trade-off is that I'm cutting his balls off. That's the trade-off.
Oh, did you already do that?
No, not yet. I have to schedule later this month. I just got the ability to do that, so it's gonna happen. I have to buy him I'm gonna buy him a soft cone and do
you're just gonna grab him and snip.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it myself. I was thinking I was just gonna fucking boop. You ever seen
go again?
Have you ever seen Kill Bill? You ever seen Kill Bill where she like grabs that girl's eye out of her fucking head? I'm gonna do that, but with his balls.
I have actually seen that. That is a movie I have actually seen.
There you go.
But only the first one.
Ah, shit, that happens in the second movie. Have you seen have you seen the scene? Is it? Yeah, I swear to God. The blonde girl where she does it to
Yeah,
one
I
of
feel
the
like I've
people.
seen that.
She does it to one of the
So
people
maybe
in the
maybe
big
I've seen
fight.
the second movie. Mm,
No, in the first, I don't remember. I'm pretty sure in the big fight
I don't
scene where she's
remember.
in the yellow jumpsuit, she plucks someone's eyes out.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think you're right
isn't it the
about that.
main guy? Isn't it?
She isn't. He doesn't do that with the main girl.
Uh,
With the main guy, with Bill,
maybe
he does the 5-step exploding heart technique or whatever the fuck it's called.
maybe that's actually my real problem. Maybe I have seen The Matrix and I just don't remember it. Like I have shit memory. I have really shit memory for movies, games,
But
books.
shows are like a lexicon.
No. I could tell you It's Always Sunny. Like, yeah, dude, I could repeat you some scenes of It's Always Sunny
Probably
at
Letterkenny
any.
too. No, not now because it's not
Maybe,
fresh.
but I mean, I have a good friend, one of my D&D buddies,
Mm-hmm.
and he loves Kingdom Hearts. And he
Okay.
can tell you the whole storyline of every game, and he's like, this makes no sense, but here's what it is. I can't remember that shit, dude. Unless I've just played it, it just doesn't stick.
Damn.
Now, It's Always Sunny, I've probably seen each episode at least 3-4 times, so that sticks. But like a movie, like I know I've seen Kill Bill. I thought I'd only seen Kill Bill 1, but I've also saw it so long ago, I barely remember it. But I do remember her in the yellow suit going beep to someone's eye.
Yeah, she does
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Now that my thing is like once my memory gets jogged, once I can kind of like once you give me glimpses of what I need to grasp onto, I can then fully grasp onto something. So like, we were talking about like earlier, like when I was like, oh, what's the other space game that's not Elite Dangerous, and you're like, oh, Star Citizen. All of a sudden, all that information gets pulled into where it needs to be. And that's how my memory has worked for a long time. I don't know why. I have a very weird memory. My brain works in a really stupid kind of wacky ways. Cause like a lot of the times, I give an example. The other day we were watching, Bridesmaids, and I watched another movie called Contagion. We were just, for whatever reason, it's just Haley and I were watching movies. And, she started asking me about different actors and actresses. And I was like, listing their fucking names off. Like and I'm like, why do I know these people? Why do I know their names and shit? Or like what they've been in, or like, I don't know. And I can do that with a lot of just like random shit. You know what I mean? It's like, I kind of attribute it to the same thing of like, whenever I drive to some place, if I've driven there, I know exactly how to get there. And I know like, I can think about alternate routes and kind of like how I want to go about it. Right. But when it comes to like giving directions, I have no clue what the fuck the names of the streets are. I have no clue. I'm like, I don't know the cardinal directions of if you head north or south. Like, I don't fucking know. I'm just like, head this ways. I don't know. But my brain that's just how it operates. I don't fucking know what's going on there.
Okay. I got two things to say here. First of all, you need to learn your goddamn cardinal directions.
Nope.
And I'm going to tell you why. You live near the easiest like marker of cardinal directions. 35, the highway, I-35.
Yeah.
It goes north and south. No matter which one you're talking about, they run north and south.
Yeah. I get
and
that.
And you always know, you're like, I live in here and 35 is here. So that's up, that's north. You can figure out northeast, southwest from there. Never eat soggy waffles, dude.
Well, okay. Listen, I understand my cardinal directions. If I go outside, I can be like, because of Shanghai noon, the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. Because of Shanghai noon, I know I can align myself and go, okay, this is northeast. That's not what I'm talking about. But I'm talking about if you're telling me, oh, I was heading northbound on whatever, 20 or
as
eastbound.
Long as you're close enough to 35 as a Texan, you can figure it out.
I don't remember this. I don't never know. Because that's the thing too, is I get on 35 and I'm like, am I heading southbound or northbound? Like if I'm going to Austin or something, I'm like, I know
if
I'm
you're going to
south.
Austin, that's south.
Yeah. But that's the thing is like, but beyond that, I'm like, okay, I'm going to Oklahoma, so I guess I'm going north. But like, if I'm within the Metroplex, I don't fucking know. And nor do I fucking care. Because if I know where I'm going, then who cares? Like, I don't care. I don't care about the cardinal direction.
That's fair.
Like if I'm going to your house, I know in my brain, I have like 3 or 4 different routes that I can take to get to your house, whether that be via highway or back roads, just due to me traveling a lot within that area.
Because you're going northeast.
But I'm saying like if I have to at any point in time get off the highway and take back roads, I can absolutely navigate that entire area just because I've been over there so much. But what I'm saying is like I don't need to know northeast southwest for that. I need to know the general direction that I'm heading, which is like where my finger is pointing at that point. You know what I mean?
Is this somehow related to girl math?
I
feel
maybe.
I feel like this is tangentially related to girl math.
I think this is just part of the queer.
I just need to go that way.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Okay,
all right. That's just how I've lived my life. See, I think.
All right.
You know what I think it is. You know what I think it is.
Tell me what it is.
So my dad is the same way with directions, where he just knows things. The difference is that he can tell you the roads and he can tell you.
Yes.
You know what I mean? My mom, not so much. Actually, no. I think my mom could probably do the same thing too if she remembers, like, you know. But I think I only got half of that power from either of them, right? You know what I mean? I think I only got the ability
half of their powers.
I think I only got the ability to get to the destination. I can't tell you how to get there, which is that's a very powerful thing. I can get there myself. I can't guide you there though. You know what I mean? I can't tell you.
I cannot guide others to the power which I have.
You can follow me. We may not end up in the same place. And if you get lost, I won't be able to help you. You know what I mean?
It's kind of funny you say it that way because my dad, for years when I was a young child, was an over-the-road trucker. Like, he'd go all over the U.S. Okay. And, man, I swear, even to this day, I'll be like, oh, I'm going to go to Vegas on this trip. And he's like, oh, yeah, if you have to drive anywhere, you're going to jump on the 45, maybe go east on the 15 or whatever the fucking highway is. Like, he remembers it all.
Yeah. My dad, I think, and I think that has something to do with, like, the fact that they used to have just stare at maps all the time, like physical maps.
I remember when I was a kid, I took a trip or two with my dad, a big fat map.
Yeah,
like the
same
binder of Atlas
yeah.
maps.
I'm like, what the fuck? I don't know where we are. I didn't know how to read a map until, you know, recently. Like, but yeah, I think that kind of is how that sort of knowledge kind of stuck in their brain because of that. Because my dad traveled a lot when he was younger, and you know, with the railroad and all that sort of stuff. Like, dude, I mean, and I don't know how the fuck he remembers that sort of shit. Or he'll tell me, like, if I'm in a certain town, he'll be like, oh, you gotta go check out this place. I don't know if it's still there. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? How do you know that that's there? It's just something he has in his brain. I don't know. I don't know why, but he does.
This is a good transition because the other thing, I said I had two things.
Okay.
We discussed this before on the weird way the human mind works. Clearly, your dad and my dad, their brain works different than ours, and they remember everything they've ever driven past in all of their years. But you had mentioned how you had like a weird thought process to arrive at something earlier. And just earlier today, it was kind of a rare occasion where my wife and we left work at the same time so we could go have lunch together. A little lunch date. It was nice. It was cute. And we're sitting there eating. It's all good. And this group of people walks in and sits down at a table near us. And I look up at this one guy, and I'm like, that guy kind of looks like Post Malone, but like he doesn't have the tattoos, and he doesn't have the grill. And then my brain went, if you have a grill, do you have to brush your teeth? And I just like randomly spouted that out to my wife. And she goes, what the fuck were we talking about that made you think that? And I had to explain, well, like, oh, you see that guy? He kind of looks like Post Malone. And it made my brain do like a leapfrog maneuver. But ultimately, I learned, I guess, grills are removable. In my mind, they were like stuck there permanently. I was like, how do you brush your teeth?
It depends on the type of because you can get implants. Like Kanye had the fucking platinum implants that he got, where he replaced his front teeth and bottom teeth with platinum, and it like fucked his whole mouth up doing that. But you can also get like, they do. I've seen the removal videos, and they're fucking hardcore. They're the most wild shit. But they basically like clamp over your teeth, and they're there. They're like permanent. They're like semi-permanent, I guess, like kind of implants. But like, I don't know how you're supposed to brush your teeth when they're on, because not all teeth are. Most grills, from what I understand, and I'm not a grill connoisseur, so take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt. But from what I understand, most grills are fitted grills, right? You get a mold of your teeth. You get the grill on, whatever you want on there, diamonds and gold and all that shit I can't afford. And then you get your grill and pop it in, right? And you can do it with individual teeth. You can do it with, whether you want your bottom row, your top row, whatever. But you can also get either replacements, because just the same as you can get like veneers. And then you can also get like semi-permanent, like they go over and like stick on your fucking teeth. Which I don't know why you would want to do that, but I guess
I don't like that. Okay, in one thought, if you have a permanent or semi-permanent covering over your tooth, it's not gonna get food and soda pop and everything else in your teeth. But
I will say
that can't be good.
The removal videos, I don't know how real they are. But the removal videos that I've seen are fucking horrifying. Where they have to basically
that soft for
is like chisel them off of you, essentially. Yeah, it's fucking crazy. It's not as intense as like fucking, but it's like a little tappy.
Bang bang. I'm imagining sparks, like a blacksmith.
Fucking put on the fucking welder's mask and. Yeah, I kind of want to look it up now. It's a weird fucking world. Gorilla, listen, we need to get Paul Wall in here and find out some more information about this.
Right,
I've met
Paul
him.
Wall,
I'm sure he'll remember me.
Come on in. Paul Wall, I don't want to tempt you too much, but I can hook you up with Mia Khalifa. I got the in now. But dude, okay. On the topic of teeth, I have such a phobia of my teeth falling out.
Yeah. See, it's funny.
I can't explain it. I don't know why. If a tooth falls out, I'm going to cry.
So that's really funny that you said that. So, I think you can, if you've been watching the podcast for a while, or if you've met me in person, you probably tell my dental health, not the best. Okay. For many, we're going to talk about this real quickly. It's funny, weird transition. So
this is all wrapped up with mental health.
It is. No, legitimately.
I know.
Dental health and mental health are one and the same. Okay.
That's why they're so close. Like M&D.
M&D. Listen, if you don't take care of yourself, your mental health will decline. And part of taking care of yourself is taking care of your teeth, right? Like when I talk to people about like what they can do to improve their mental health, not saying that I fucking go out and like coach people or anything like that. That'd be fucking crazy. But when I've talked to people in the past about like what they can do, dude, brush your hair, take a shower, like it could be a little thing. Wash your face, brush your teeth. Like those like little things. Like if you're only going to do like one of those things, the one thing that you should be doing is brushing your teeth. So many times in my life, I have thought about the fact that, man, I regret not taking care of my teeth. I regret that there were so many years that I was so fucking depressed that, I mean, it sounds gross, but there were times where I'd brush my teeth like once a week, right? And looking back, it's like, holy shit. And I'm like, dude, I was eating horrible. And now, don't get me wrong, I never had a phobia of the dentist. I never had a phobia of doctors. It was more so that I was in such a deep, dark place that I just didn't give a fuck about, like, why would I care, right? Like, and I think there was a kind of mindset that I had for a really long time where like, oh, well, I'm going to die in my like late 20s, early 30s, that it doesn't really matter to me. That's kind of the mindset that I had, especially in my like late teens, early 20s. I had a very, as weird as it sounds, I had a very, like, I wasn't like dead set on it, but I had this like thought in my mind that I will be a part of like the 27 Club, not the famous part, just dying at 27.
Jimi Hendrix,
dude, Kurt Cobain, all these fucking people, James Joplin, I think, yeah. But so all these people,
Jim Morrison.
Oh man, what a crazy fucking club. But that's what I thought would happen. I legitimately thought, I'm not going to make it into my like mid 30s. There's no fucking way. Fast forward into my mid 20s, my mid to late 20s. Finally, I start realizing the importance of taking care of myself, the importance of, like obviously there's still aspects of me I don't take care of myself, right? I don't shave every day. You can see my beard's all, if you're watching, if you're listening, I will describe to you my beard's a goddamn mess, right?
Honestly, I can hear it. That's really funny. The audio listeners are going to hear that brushing sound you just did.
No, they won't, because I'll fucking make sure it's cut out. No, I'm going.
Damn it! No, leave it in. Leave it in.
I'll leave it.
Audio
I'll
boost that
leave
portion.
just this part of me like scratching the beard.
Sounds so good.
That's some ASMR right there, baby. No, I don't know. But not taking care of myself has just been a big part of my life. That I have since it slowly but surely, gotten to the point where I can now say I've gotten a little bit better. Behind me, you can see my room. Used to, if this were a couple years ago, you wouldn't have been able to see my floor because I was just like, I didn't give a fuck. Why would I care about myself? I know that other and like I need everyone to understand. Like I know that people cared about me. I didn't care about myself, and that's a big thing about mental health is that any time that you want to try and improve your mental health, you're not gonna have anybody with some sort of fucking like magical list that says, here's everything that you need to do. And if you do all of this, you'll achieve happiness. That's never going to fucking happen. Nor will you ever have anybody who's just going to do all of those things for you. Right. You have to be the one to make the list and then to check everything off of that list. Right. And that list is something that probably refreshes daily for me.
Yep.
I now have it to where, yeah, I am taking care of myself to an extent. Right. I'm still eating like shit some days. I'm still fucking living a pretty sedentary lifestyle where I just don't get enough exercise. I'm not getting enough sunlight. Like there's self-criticisms I can have, but I can now see the floor of my room, right? I am cleaning up after myself and cleaning myself, and taking care of myself in a much better capacity. And it's important, man. It's important for, again, not only your mental health, but your hygiene and your physical health and all of that sort of stuff fucking compiles together. Anytime that you take care of one thing, it has that domino effect. It's the same way with if you don't take care of things. Eventually it'll pile up. But if you are taking care of things, that piles up too, man. Like that positivity and that, putting forth that effort, it piles up too, man. You end up finding this reward that there's some days, man, where I fucking wake up and, I feel like shit, but then there's other days where I wake up and go, it's all right. Everything's, not so bad. Right. And I think if you can get to that point, you'll be all right. There's my rant for the podcast.
Dude, that was actually really well said. I don't know if you planned it this way, but that was really well said.
No,
like
I don't plan any of this shit.
the negative the negative things in your life do pile up. It snowballs. That's probably the best way to put it. It snowballs. If you're not showering, you're not shaving, if you're a man, or maybe you need to as a woman, whatever.
No, you do. Yeah. No, that goes for anybody. It
all snowballs downhill. It just gets worse and worse.
Yep.
But if you're, at the bare minimum, if you wake up and take a shower and you brush some teeth, you start a little snowball.
Yep.
Maybe you take a walk, maybe you hit the gym.
Listen, the way that I figured it out, it's so funny that because I've been wanting to kind of articulate this in some way, and now it just sort of falls into place how it happens, right? But the main thing that I can tell people, if you're going to take one thing away, take this lesson, which is if you want to start to take care of yourself, create habit. Okay. That's been the best thing for me. Let me give you an example. Every night, and I mean this, every night, no matter where I am, no matter what I'm doing, I cannot go to sleep if I haven't at least brushed my teeth. Okay. Since I got my industrial pierce, now I can't go to sleep until I clean my piercings, wash my face, and brush my teeth. Right. So once those three things are done, then I can actually lay down and go to sleep. And then adding on to that, since I got my cat, on top of that, I have to clean the litter box. Right. So like building habit, it's like, okay, if I don't do these things, this can't happen. Right. So for me, if I don't brush my teeth, if I don't wash my face, if I don't clean my piercings, if I don't clean the litter box, I'm not sleeping. I'll lay in bed. I don't mean I'm sleeping, right? Unless I'm like just so, and I could be fucking, I've been, fairly responsibly, but also fairly drunk, still had to do all that, right? Doesn't matter if I'm a little impaired, doesn't matter where I am. I'm going to make sure that I'm prepared to do those minimum things. So that way I can be like, okay, I can comfortably continue on with going to bed or doing whatever you need to do. And if it has to be in the morning, that's fine. If it has to be in the middle of the day, that's fine. As long as you're doing it, doesn't matter. Time is irrelevant. Who gives a fuck? But like, you know what I mean? Just do it. Okay. Do it and do it consistently. Again, be a creature of habit, create those tendencies and those habits, and they'll all kind of fall together.
For me, it kind of started with contacts because I wear contact lenses. So it's like, if I want to put them in the morning, brush your fucking teeth while you're already standing there. Don't be a lazy bitch.
There you go.
And then at night, I know goddamn from experience, if I fall asleep in these contact lenses, my eyeballs are going to feel like the Sahara Desert in the morning.
Yep.
So when you go take them out at night, just brush your fucking teeth.
Yep. Yeah.
And sometimes you gotta be a little bit of a dick to yourself.
Absolutely.
Like, I'm not saying like don't hate yourself. You know,
you already hate yourself
We're
enough.
all human.
Yeah.
But you know, sometimes it's like, don't be a lazy bitch. Fucking stop being a lazy bitch. Just brush your teeth.
All right, let's fucking get up and do this bullshit. I know you don't fucking want to. Let's do it. Yeah.
Yep.
I will make compromises with myself. If I'm like I think the thing like the thing I'll be like, all right, let me like scroll on TikTok for like 10 more minutes, and then I'll get up and go fucking do what I need to do. That sort of. But as long as it gets done, as long as it gets done. Man, I don't know what it is, and I also don't really know if it's just because I got tired of the way that I was living, or I got, there's these kind of like sparks that I've had in my life where, something clicks and I go, oh, I need to start doing this. I think a big thing happened where my old bed was like a queen bed. My room isn't just built. It's not built for that at all. And so I went down to like a full size bed. And when that happened, I was like, well, if I do that, then I need to throw out my old desk and get a new one. And if I do that, then I need to throw out all this other old furniture, and I need to throw it all. And like, I had this like exodus of like, I'm going to like take this room corner by corner. And I like threw out my old rug, and I threw out all this other just dog shit that I had in fucking my room that I just didn't need. It was all either old stuff that I collected or stuff that I just, bought and just never used, or I used it once, whatever, you just kind of, I think at some point there's certain things that you end up kind of collecting. Right. And, I just had to reorganize, man. I'm kind of getting to that point again, man, where like, my closet is not how I want it to be. And there's like, I have way too many clothes, and I already donated a shitload of my clothes, but I just need to like reorganize them. So like those sorts of things, like, I think for me, it's like, I just need to get pissed off enough at that one thing to then be like, I'm just going to fucking do something about it. You know what I mean? Cause like I'm thinking about like just tearing my fucking doors off in my closet to then make it more open, and then I can have more room to fuck around with. But if I do that, I need to, one, figure out what to do with the doors, and two, figure out how to fucking reorganize in there. Cause I need to, I don't know. It's a whole mess. I handle it one day at a time. You don't have to handle everything at once. I will say that. Don't handle everything at once. You'll get overwhelmed.
I'm a big proponent of lists.
Absolutely.
There's something, I feel like I've mentioned this before, maybe 18 episodes ago now, because we're so far along in this awesome thing that we're doing. But when I'm stressed, specifically, it's become like a coping mechanism for me. And it works at work, it works at home, whatever. If I'm feeling overly stressed and I feel myself being irritable to my wife or my son or friends, whatever, because I'm like, I have so much to do and no time,
Yeah.
You just, as a human, we feel that way sometimes. And I just, whether it's a note on your phone, whether it's a physical list, I guess I'm an old man, and I kind of just like a physical list. I want a pen in my hand.
Yeah.
And I want to write down, I need to do the dishes. I need to clean out the closet. I need to take out the trash. And okay, now I have it a little bit organized, and you just start hammering away. And when you cross off one, it's right back to the thing we were just saying. It's a snowball. Okay, I got one done. I get the second one done. Now I'll get the third one done. Shit, now I'm free. I got nothing to do but play Marvel Rivals and drink beer.
Hell yeah, brother. Dude, yeah, absolutely. I don't do lists. Cheers, hey. I don't do lists so much, but I do I do like, I'll set alarms with little notes on them. So that way the alarm will go off and I go, oh shit, now's the time that I need to do this. Or, I still doing my job hunt bullshit. A big thing has been like, if I start filling out an application on my phone, sometimes I'm like, fuck this. I can't fucking just copy and paste shit from my fucking whatever. I just want to type it out on my computer and have a keyboard, like a real keyboard. So then I'll set an alarm. Hey, finish the application that you started for whatever job or whatever. That sort of stuff, or like if I'm like, man, I need to go pick something up for pollen. I'll fucking put that as an alarm, be like, okay, in a couple hours or tomorrow, I'll go and do that. Right. And it's just like a reminder to be like, hey, this is something that needs to get done. You better go do it now, or it's not going to get done. I have ADHD. And one thing that I've figured out, one thing about myself, I should say, is that if someone tells me to do something, if I don't go do it immediately, I won't get it done. It'll never, it completely leaves my brain, and I'm like, no clue. Give an example. Anytime, like if my dad has had to use my car before, he'll be like, "Hey man, can you leave your keys out for me, so I can go use it?" Whatever. I'm like, "Yeah, sure, man." There's been so many times when, like, 8 a.m. will roll around. He's like banging on my door, and I'm like, "Oh shit, fuck! I gotta fucking give him my shit." I
Find your
completely
keys.
forget. Yeah, I'm like, I completely forgot, because I just won't do it right then and there. Um, it's also, I think, kind of why I'm like, so my brain kind of like thinks about, like, I don't ever want to be late to stuff, because I don't want to be behind. I don't want to have to. I want everything to be done so that way we can be, anytime that Haley and I are like going to something or we're doing something, I'm like, we need to be there at this time. We're going to the
And you
Omni this
math it. That
weekend.
means I need to leave
Yeah,
at this time.
exactly. We're going to the Omni this weekend and doing a whole like date night thing. And I'm like, I already have in my brain, like, I need to be at her place by noon. So that way we're prepared and ready to go to leave by 2:30. Movie starts at 3:30 and we're doing, so I mean, like, that sort of shit, you just kind of figure out what works for you, but make sure that you're doing
That's
things with like some form of efficiency. You know what I mean?
intention.
Intention.
Yeah, that's
There you go. That's the word.
Yeah, that's really probably the point that we need to nail here is that, if a list works for me, that's great. If an alarm works for you, that's great. Whatever works for you, our dear listener who's going to like and subscribe, whatever works for you, that's great. And that's what you should do.
Yeah.
And work towards
Absolutely.
it and build upon it. Because once you start that little habit, just like Silas said earlier, you can have the pile of negativity that snowballs down the hill, or you can have that pile of positivity that builds up the hill.
Yeah. It definitely pays off, man. And it's always, I think the thing early on for me is it always felt like work. It's like, oh man, I don't want to have to work on this or work on this. Working on it pays off. It absolutely pays off. I'm in a much better place mentally now. And again, I am human. I still have my down days. I'm still struggling. Yeah, I'm definitely not perfect. I think by some people's standards, I'm a fucking loser. That's fine. I don't give a fuck. Right. In my own bubble, in my own personal journey, I'm doing okay. I'm not doing, super great. I'm not doing super bad. I'm doing okay, and that's okay for me. So there you go.
You're doing your best and you're not hurting
There you go.
anybody. And
There
in
you go.
my kind of belief system, that's all you need.
Cheers to that. I mean,
Ew.
it's yeah, it's however you want to do it. It's however you can, it's however you can get it done. You know what I mean? I think that's, yeah, however you can get it done. I think doing things with intention is probably the best way. That I think you said it perfectly. If you're going to do something, do it with intention.
And there's something to be said about when you really sit down and you think about what do I need, what works for me, you kind of start finding these systems, you start working, you start building. And I think once you get a decent ways into that journey of self-improvement, it becomes a little easier to look at other people and say, well, I mean, they're on their journey. That works for them.
Mm-hmm.
Or, I disagree with what they're doing, but I don't give a fuck because this is my journey over here. This is going good. And that's theirs, and they're on their thing.
Versus,
and, if it's a friend or a loved one, you might have the opportunity to help extend advice,
Absolutely. Yeah.
Maybe you have a cool podcast. You get to fucking rant whatever you think is right. Yeah. But, I mean, if it's just a passerby on the street, it's probably not your place to really say, hey, you should brush teeth.
And I think it's better to do that versus like comparing yourself to other people. Whereas, because it's very easy to, especially with like social media and shit like that, it's very easy to look at someone and go, oh man, they have their life together and they're doing all this shit. And like, look how, how fucking great their life is and all this other sort of shit. It's so easy to do that when in actuality, you just need to focus on what's happening with you. Who fucking cares about what car your fucking Bob on fucking Elm Street just fucking bought? Bob has a horrible home life. Okay. Fuck him. But the thing about, but
Bob
he doesn't
beats
show
his
that.
wife. I heard it.
Dude, Bob is fucking beating and cheating on his wife. Fuck Bob. All right. We don't stand Bob. Bob's a piece of shit. Fuck him.
Time Moment is a staunchly anti-Bob podcast.
All Bobs out there.
As long as, actually, if you don't beat your wife and you don't cheat on your wife and your name is Bob, go ahead, like and subscribe. You're cool.
I think, yeah. I think as long as you're not beating or cheating on anybody, you can like and subscribe and we'll be cool with you.
Damn, there's some gay Bob out there going, well, I beat and cheat my husband,
Yeah.
but it's not a wife, so I'm good.
Yeah,
Like
we're
and
good,
subscribe.
man. Found the loopholes. God damn it. No beating or cheating on anybody here at Time Well Met. Jesus
Anybody
Christ.
or animals.
Anybody. No, yeah, no animal. Jeez, don't fuck with animals.
Well, don't
Well,
cheat on animals.
Don't cheat on your animals. Oh, fuck. But I think, you know, as don't compare yourself to other people. It's just so, it's never going to end up well. You're never going to be, because then you're going to be like, I did that for a long time with like my friends who've gone to college and have done all this stuff in their life. It's unnecessary. You'll be much happier if you just live out your life and try and do the best that you can. You know what I mean?
I think it might be like eye-opening or kind of a perspective widening thing for you as a person when you start to really work on yourself.
Yeah.
Because if you feel as though you're a piece of shit who's accomplished nothing, it's really easy to look at other people and say, well, they're just a successful asshole for various reasons, XYZ, whatever you deem necessary. But if you feel like you're a worthless piece of shit and you start improving upon it,
Yeah.
and even if you're, you know, just 10% into your journey and you are like, I'm 10% better than I was, if you look at someone else, I feel like you're less likely to think, well, that person's just a piece of shit and they're lazy and this and that. It's easier to recognize, well, I was there not that long ago, so they're doing, you know, they're trying, and I tried, and I got better. They'll get better. It's just easier to have a positive outlook on the world around you.
Yeah.
I think.
I think
working towards bettering yourself.
Yeah. It reminds me of that old adage of hurt people hurt people. You know what I mean? And sometimes those hurt people have hurt themselves. That's kind of, you know, they dig themselves in that hole. They stop caring like I did for a very long time. I definitely had a lot of anger towards the world and towards the people around me. And it was very easy to blame everyone but myself. But once I really looked at it and went, oh, I can just start figuring shit out for myself. And it's a goddamn, dude, I've said it, to so many people throughout time that mental health is a journey. It's a fucking journey. It's a journey.
Mental health?
Mental health is a journey.
Oh, like the band.
Like the band, yes. Don't stop believing that mental health is a journey.
And we're halfway there.
We're not living on a prayer, though. But mental health is a fucking journey. It happens one day at a time, 1 week at a time.
We're all on it.
1 month at a time. Just work on it. Okay?
Yep. Brush your goddamn teeth.
Brush your goddamn teeth. You'll feel so much better. Trust me.
There's a billion people out there amongst our billion listeners who are like, I brush my teeth every day.
Yeah.
You fucking gross assholes.
Dude, yeah. And listen, it's one of the things that I definitely acknowledge is like, when I look back at it, I was like, oh, that's kind of gross. That's yucky. You know what I mean?
No, I'm not. I'm
not saying that you're judging me.
But because, I mean, I've been there as well. But back to kind of what I said that sparked this whole goddamn thing. I have such a phobia.
What did spark? Oh.
Because I think I grew up in the country, right? I grew up in the country, all right? We had Billy Bob up the road who had 4 teeth in his mouth. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that's awful. That's bad. I don't ever want that.
Small town Texas will fuck you up.
So while I was definitely not the greatest, I wasn't brushing my teeth every morning and every night. And I still don't every single morning and night. I mean, you know, we miss them. We miss them sometimes.
Hey, we're human.
But I was never going an extended period of time because then my teeth will fall out and then I'll look like Jim Bob up the road.
True. Yeah, I don't know what I look back at that time and I'm like, I don't know why my brain was like, no, we don't need to do that. No, I do know why. It's because I just didn't give a fuck about taking care of myself. So, and I think when you don't give a fuck, things start to slip away, and it happened for years. Like, I mean, literal years
snowballs down,
and
it's just one of those things. I'm already not brushing my teeth. I might as well not take a shower. And
exactly.
I might as well not clean my room, and I might as well not try to get a job, and I might as well not.
I'm definitely still not taking showers every day. Every couple of days, sure, but I don't.
Every day feels unnecessary.
I don't go outside
unless you do something. Like if I hit the gym.
Listen,
if I hit the gym, working out.
If I'm getting sweaty or if I'm in a pool, I'm taking a shower. And it's not gonna be a quick. I might not wash my hair. That's the big part. That's the one where I fuck up. I'll go swimming and not wash my hair for till I really need to. But That's where I'm fucking up.
Right.
But if I work out, because washing my hair, because I have long ass hair,
I know.
it's a fucking process. It sucks.
I
dick.
had long hair not that long ago, and it's a goddamn process, and that's why I cut it all off.
I love it. My hair's still a little wet, actually, because I washed my hair earlier today. Funnily enough. But I love it. But it's also a huge pain in the ass. Lori? What were you about to say, L'Oreal?
L'Oreal? Maybelline? I don't know. What are you doing with your...
I don't remember the fucking... You know what's funny is I get my...
really bad for audio listeners.
Yeah, I really have no clue what's going on. I love fucking with them. Anybody who's just listening to the audio, right now Kirby's doing a handstand. You can't confirm or deny that.
I am. I've actually been doing a handstand this entire
whole episode. You would know unless you watch the fucking video on Spotify or YouTube. Yeah. What the fuck is that? Start driving and watching the... Don't do that. I'm just fucking with you. Don't actually do that. Pay attention to the goddamn road. What's wrong with you?
But you can have your passenger in the passenger seat watching the video and describing it to you very vividly.
Or you can pull over safely and confirm for yourself. Mm-hmm. If you're doing that now, I got you, bitch.
Hold on, let me get on my head.
Yeah. We're taking this like 20 seconds until you get back on the road to then be in our normal seated positions before Kirby gets back in the chair. Handstand.
Yeah.
What is happening? What the fuck is this dog shit podcast?
Nah,
who listens to this?
It's been good. It's been
fantastic. I think
it's been a little loosey goosey.
Every episode that we record
is a journey. Sorry, I cut you off.
I was gonna say it's. I think we keep getting better. Not to toot our own horn, but definitely to toot our own fucking horn. Every time that we record an episode, I feel like we get better. You know what I mean? And I think that goes into what we just talked about. Like as you continue through life and as you continue through your journey, as long as you're getting a little better, that's something to be proud of, right? I think again with this podcast, that's what we're doing. Every episode, I feel like we get a little bit better. We get a little bit, funnier, or we get a little bit more on point with what we're talking about. The transition from topic to topic gets smoother.
This episode was not smooth, but this was also the first episode where I was standing on my head the entire time.
Dude,
so
we're improving. We're getting better. It's getting crazy. Fuck me. That is great. Holy shit. Man, I'm looking at the topics what I wrote down, and I don't want to talk about any of this shit. No.
Did we hit any of them?
Well, I think there's the only one that I think we kind of maybe touched on. There's a quote that I heard that I thought was really impactful, and I think most quotes are kind of bullshit. Anytime someone's like, this is a quote I heard from, it's like, okay, whatever, some fucking person said that, whatever. Like sometimes it sounds cool to repeat, or like I think monologues or like long diatribes of dialogue are cooler than like one single sentence. But this guy that I fucking watch on TikTok, he said this, and I thought it was fucking really interesting. He said, anxiety is fear of the future. Depression is the longing for the past, but I have resolve. And I thought that was like fucking damn, something about that. I was like, oh, that's good. That's punchy. You know what I mean? Fuck.
That's how I feel about some lyrics that I listen to. It's exactly how I feel about some lyrics.
Think lyrics are better than like just normal fucking quote. But I know it depends on the quote. Depends on the quote.
Because a lyric can hit you and stick with you. There are several that I've mentioned on this show that stick with me.
Saying, yeah.
And if that random YouTube guy, if he said that and it sticks with you and it works, fuck him.
Yeah, but I also have quotes like,
don't skip it.
Naked idiot piece of shit that Wilberger said many years ago. Fucking idiot, naked piece of shit. That has stuck with me in my brain as a quote that I live by. Anytime someone like cuts me off, I'm like, idiot, naked piece of shit. Like it's great. I love it. So that's why I'm like, quotes are like, because sometimes it's dumb quotes.
Nah, if they come from It's Always Sunny, it's good.
Oh yeah, every Always Sunny quote is not only funny but also impactful.
That's right, dude. And through God, all things are possible. So jot that down.
Is that an Always Sunny quote?
Oh, I'm so sad that you have to ask. Yes, that's an It's Always Sunny quote.
I asked because I knew it would upset you. It's funny that we talk about like life and stuff like that. One creator that I wanted to shout out. I did want to talk about Jacob fucking Jones, but we can kind of wrap up with him. One creator that I wanted to talk about is this guy named It's Ian on YouTube. Okay, this guy, very interesting. We've been talking so much about how, gauging where you are in life and not beating yourself up over past mistakes and stuff like that. Ian is kind of a really good example of that, right? This guy, I only just recently found him. He kind of hit this like high point in his life where, or not high point, I should say high point in his YouTube career, not necessarily his life, because he's been struggling with his own shit. Where, hey, he just had this moment of like, this sucks, but he had YouTube virality that came along with it, and he got fired from his job at 7-Eleven. Now, I ended up watching a couple of his videos, and he talks about this idea about like, fuck man, I'm 30 years old, still working at 7-Eleven, or he's like, in his 30s. He's a recovering alcoholic. He's got all these like problems and things that have happened in his life. And it's a very interesting perspective to see. It's almost comforting, right? It's almost comforting to be like, I'm not the only one having struggles, right?
Yeah.
I think there's something about that where, and the way that he shows it, he's living with his grandma, because his grandma is, fairly elderly and needs help with certain things, but she's still, still got it. They went to the casino in one of in the video where he got rehired by 7-Eleven. He talks about how, YouTube, hell yeah. He talks about how YouTube has just been kind of an off and on kind of thing where like, there's sometimes the negativity kind of gets to him with all of the things where people are kind of telling him how he needs to do things. And he's just like, I just want to do my own thing. And I don't know. It's just an interesting, his perspective on life is something that I can relate. I feel like I would be friends with this motherfucker. The way that he presents himself and the way that he's kind of like, he talks about life and shit like that. I'm like, man, yeah, no, absolutely. It's almost like having a conversation. You know what I mean? It's just very odd, but also very comforting. You know what I mean? It's very comforting to know that someone else is kind of like, not struggling, but has struggled. That's yeah.
Because if you're just watching movies and TV and standard news and things like that, until you get into the TikToks and YouTubes and Reels and things, you're not going to see real people.
True.
Everybody looks perfect and has perfect lives, but that's really just not the reality,
Yeah.
Some of us are idiots like you and I making a podcast.
Yeah, sitting down every other Wednesday after 2 weeks and lots has happened. Much SV has been watched. It's just very odd.
Snuck it in twice in this episode,
dude. We're improving, baby. What can I say? We're getting better every episode.
Peak efficiency.
It's just one of those things I always find odd. I think that it's very easy to kind of go through life and not think about how everyone else is having the same. I think about the Dave Chappelle quote from one of his not Comedy Central. He had a comedy special where he tells this story about his transgender friend. A lot of people think about, oh, he's super transphobic. I don't really think he is. I think he's actually just fucking edgy and being a little bitch. Anyways, beside the point. The quote that he has, he's telling a story about his transgender comedian friend who at one point in his set, after she had opened for him, he goes, Daphne, I have no idea what the fuck you were talking about, or I have no idea, or I don't understand you. And she responded with, I don't need you to understand me. I just need you to understand that I'm having a human experience. That to me has been like the fucking most insane.
That's good.
I talk about fucking quotes, but
that's good.
It's that sort of thing is like kind of how I live my life. And it's something that I try and remind myself of like, you don't need to think about, you don't need to understand the people around you. You don't need to understand why people do things. You just need to understand that they are having a human experience. Right. Which is why I can never understand why people are hateful or why people are, can't have love in their hearts or find reasons to, put down other people for any particular reason. Right. It's just pointless. It's super, super pointless. Just understand that we're all on the same fucking rock flying through the void. We're all kind of just trying to figure this shit out. Okay. Excuse me. But yeah.
That was good, honestly.
Yeah. Listen, what can I say? We're improving every day, baby.
Improving every day. 21 episodes. We finally got a gold nugget.
Yeah. Holy shit! It's crazy that it's been 21 episodes. Fuck
It's
me.
so crazy, bro.
The grind is real. The grind is not as real as Jacob fucking Jones. I did want to mention. So you know his channel where he fucking smokes cigarettes. We've mentioned this way long ago.
Yeah.
He has like multiple other channels.
I've seen he had like 3 or 4 now. He's like
He
gaming.
so he had a gaming he had a gaming channel. It's an old channel. He has a channel where he draws and talks about
Oh.
life. He has a channel where he tries different alcohol now. That's kind of his main squeeze channel.
Cool.
So he's trying all these different alcohols. And then he also has a smoking channel. And then he has another channel that's like super fucking old. That's like his like first gaming channel. It's really it's insane. I kind of want to do a deep dive on like Jacob fucking Jones. You know what I mean? I would love to do a deep dive episode of Jacob fucking Jones. I feel like there's enough content that he's put out where it's just like that I respect the fuck out. Oh, and he's putting out short form content as well. So he's doing all of his shorts and shit like fucking daily or some dumb shit. That guy is
props
grinding.
to him. He's grinding.
Yeah.
He's self-improving.
He's dude, every day. Every fucking day. Every day. I feel like I need to I want to like clear the list of topics that I put up for talk. And one of the things about improving, so this is just kind of tooting my own horn, but after 9 years or 10 years, when did Rocket League come out? What year? Know this off the top of your head right now.
10 years ago in 3 months.
So
4 months.
Okay. So roughly 9.5 years ago, because I started playing Rocket League pretty soon after launch, I think. The same year it came out, at least. I think. I started playing Rocket League, yeah, like right around 9 years ago. Let's call it 9 years. And after 9 years, I finally hit champion, which is a fucking
put the screenshot.
Holy shit. Yeah, I do have the screenshot. I'll have to find it, but yeah, I'll put it up here. What a fucking wild ride. Never thought that would fucking happen.
It's in 3s, right?
No, it's in 2s. That's what's fucked up. That's what's fucked up. Yeah.
Nah, that's even better.
I'm a 3s player, but apparently I'm champion in 2s, which is didn't think that was possible.
I will say it is a milestone because I remember in 2017 was the first time I hit champ, and I remember taking a Snapchat picture of it and sending it to my girlfriend, who's now my wife, and being like, "I'm champ," and she's like, "Oh, cool. That's really good for you."
Wow. You know what's really funny is before my girlfriend and I started dating, there was this guy because there was this guy that I can't remember if she was dating or she was just talking to, and I was like, he was a champion in Rocket League. And I was like, you gotta stay away from those fucking champ Rocket League players because they're nothing but fucking trouble. And now I'm like, oh shit, I hope she doesn't remember that.
Don't tell her.
But I very vividly remember being like, you gotta stay away from them champ. Listen, if they're diamond, it's okay, but if they get to champ, you gotta stay away.
That's trouble. That's trouble right there.
Holy shit.
But champ 2, that's cool.
Hey, listen. Champ 1, freaks. Champ 2, all right. Oh man, but yeah, it's a weird milestone, man. I think hitting a milestone like that is it feels really like weird because I didn't mean to, and I think that makes it even more fun. Like I was just like casually playing with TJ, and all of a sudden, I mean, we were having some bad games, man. I was kind of tilted by the end of that. We won. We in the session that we played, we lost 2 games and then won our last 2 games. But I was just not feeling it. I was like, I just want to get these placements done. Whatever. Got placed in champ and was like, oh, all right.
Hey,
I guess this is a thing
now.
Yeah.
Don't tell Haley.
Don't tell Haley. Yeah. But it's just such a fucking weird feeling. I don't know why. Because it was one of those things where it was like, wow, like I finally made it. Because it used to be a big thing for me. Like I wanted to improve with Rocket League and I wanted to get better. And I feel like I might have gotten a little. Clearly, I have. I guess if I believe the ranks, but
in my main experience with what I'm about to say is in Rocket League, but I feel like it has to apply to a lot of other things where you take a step back, you take a break, and then you come back and you're just oddly rapidly improving. I don't know what that is, but it's cool.
I think it's a matter of like you think about a plateau. I think I definitely plateaued when I quit the first time.
And when you're really into it, you'll keep grinding on that plateau and not get anywhere. But you step
Exactly.
away and come back.
Exactly.
And
You fucking
something
nailed it.
magically gets better.
Yeah. I think it just gave me a different perspective. I stopped. I think where I was at, I was trying to be too technical and too whatever. Whereas when I left and came back,
Just playing.
yeah, I stopped thinking. I just was like, I just need to hit the ball into the goal, and that's or I just need to pass it, or I just need to, I need to stop being so fancy, and just the fundamentals.
The fundamentals.
That's all it's about. All it's about. God damn. And that was well. And the funny thing is too, is I had hit champ before, but in Rumble, but I didn't count that. I was like, that's not fucking real.
Well, yeah. That doesn't count.
That doesn't fucking count. But twos, that count. I count that.
That's real. That's real.
I'll put the check mark next to that one. Hit champ, life achievement.
Cross it off. Cross it off your list.
Cross it off. That list is not very long. I don't have a lot of shit that I like want to achieve. It's like it's pretty short as of right now. But yeah,
we're gonna continue to improve every day, and someday that list is gonna be completed.
Someday.
And then you can retire, move out to the country.
Yes. Well, I don't know about that. I kind of like the city. I don't really want to live in the country. I think growing up in a small town, like, I don't know if I can live out here. This sucks.
Whatever you think best.
Whatever. All right. Before I do think that we need to definitely wrap up. There's one thing I want to do before we wrap up. If you're game for it, and I want to ask you a hypothetical question. So
okay. Before you get too deep in this, can we take a real quick break?
Yes.
And oh my God, I'm about to piss my pants. Yeah, dude. I'm ready for a hypothetical. Yeah, what you got?
Get the fuck out of here. All right. I for whatever reason, I think I've had hypothetical. I think I need to tell a little origin story very quickly. I ask my girlfriend stupid fucking hypotheticals all the time. Poor Haley. Dude, I ask her some wild shit. Today I asked her, I was like, realistically, how long do you think we would last in like a zombie apocalypse? And I'm like, I'm not talking about like, what do you like? I'm talking about realistically. And she was like not having it because she has like just woken up from a nap. She's like, shut the fuck up, leave me alone. I love her. God bless her. She has to deal with so much from me. I'm amazed she still loves me. It's crazy. But I wrote down a hypothetical because I thought this would be interesting. Just because I feel like, I don't know. I want to ask you these things because I feel like
because Haley wouldn't answer it.
Yeah. No, it's one of those things that like I'm like yeah, because Haley wouldn't answer it.
Yeah. Okay.
So
let's hit it.
So I was watching Abba and Preach recently because I love them. Shout out Abba and Preach, great YouTube channel. And they sparked this idea in my head, which is, if your toilet could talk, what do you think they would say? And that goes further into, if the appliances in your house could talk, what would they say? Right? Like, let me put this thing into perspective. Do you think your toilet would like enjoy? Is it like, oh yeah, I'm so excited you're here, I'm so hungry? Or is it like, please God, no? Like, do you see what my girlfriend is? I swear to God, I ask her this same type of shit. Do you see what she has to deal with? And now I'm asking you. Isn't this great? Aren't you glad you started a podcast with me? The look that you're giving me.
I've heard this posed before with the sentiment of like, would you prefer if your toilet was excited when you come to do your business? Or would you prefer if the toilet was not excited, in which case you're some sort of
evil person,
evil asshole,
yeah.
Pun intended, submitting this poor creature to your will because it's a living sentient being now.
Yeah.
And you know what? I hope it doesn't like it.
Really?
Hell yeah.
Oh my God.
And it's stuck there. It has no choice in the matter.
It can't move.
And that is the one time in my life when I just get to exact my will upon the world and it has no say in the matter.
You think earplugs would become like a big facet of like home life at that point, or at least bathroom life? Like, cause think about
Oh
like
my god, is the toilet screaming while I'm shitting?
no, I think it's like gargling because it's like there's stuff. It's like it starts as a scream and then goes to like it gets muffled as you drop the kids off at the pool. You know what I mean? As the first kid exits the bus, he's like, it goes from like a ah, you know what I mean?
Okay, my problem with this is that as I'm thinking about it,
I'm gonna pass out. Go ahead.
my problem with this as I think about it is if you're like a traveler, you're like you're a truck driver who travels the
Oh
country
no!
just serial assassinating toilets across the land. And they're all like, no, no.
Oh shit! I think about like truck stop toilets that are just like, all right, bud, just do what you need to do.
You think they just give up at some point?
They
Dude,
just
that is like
they just
that is
submit.
straight up hell. That is a hellish, that is a Greek myth of torture.
Well,
Like
think about
like the dude Sisyphus, right? He pushes the rock up the hill and it rolls
yeah,
back
and
down.
it rolls back down and switch back. Yeah, yeah.
But like you're a piece of shit. You're Hitler in this life. You
Think
die
about
be reincarnated as a sentient toilet.
think about this. Think about this. This is
Do I
how
want to?
yes. It's not that you want to, it's that you have to now that you're doing this with me. Think about this.
21 episodes.
Think about this. What if I like how do you like how the episode was like super sentimental? We talked about mental health and all that like beautiful stuff.
Mhm.
And I just destroyed it with toilet talk legitimately. So,
yeah.
think about this. Think about this. Fuck, I'm crying. Think about this. What if you're like you're used to toilets talking and they don't really like it, but then you go to a truck stop and the toilet is silent, and that's how you know that's a real fucked up toilet. Because
Oh
it
my
doesn't.
God.
At that point, it's so conditioned to just be abused that it's just like, whatever. All right, bud.
Like you should fear the man with no emotion.
Exactly.
But
Fear
you
the
should
toilet
fear
that doesn't
the
scream.
Toilet. I'm getting flashbacks to the episode where you were telling us to read I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream.
Yeah. Holy shit.
But it's a toilet.
It's a toilet the whole time. Holy shit. We are the AI.
I am nothing but mouth and I can't scream.
Yeah. This is the sort of shit that keeps me up at night. It's not like I don't think about death anymore. I think about this type of shit.
I don't think about death. I think about murdering sentient toilets.
Well, you're not murdering, you're just punishing them. And also, I would want them to enjoy it. I wouldn't want them, what if they're like, yeah, buddy, here we go. You have like slutty toilets at truck stops. And they're like, oh, my life is fantastic. Thank you, sir. Can I have another? Think about how disappointed they are when you're like, oh, I just needed to blow my nose and like throw it in the toilet or whatever. Yeah, like, sorry, bud. Or like, oh, what? You just have to piss today, piss boy? Come on, where's my treasure?
Piss boy.
My mom watches this podcast.
If
What the
I
fuck
get
am I doing?
shamed, if I'm getting shamed by a toilet, man. GG.
GG.
I can promise you and I can assure every listener out there, your mom, and anybody else, I've never had this thought. This is all chaboy right here.
Oh shit. Oh my god. Whew. I'm like sweating. What the fuck? Oh, that's really funny. I don't know. I don't know why. Dude, I told you my brain works in weird fucking ways. I don't know.
I completely agree with Haley. I've been awake all day, but it's too early for this shit, dude. You gotta step on with this.
Holy fucking shit. Whew. Oh my god. My like ears hurt from laughing so fucking hard. What the fuck? Oh man. We would love. Oh man. Yeah. I listen. I don't know why. I don't know why this happens. I don't have a reason for this. This is just how my fucking brain. I just am awake thinking about this sort of shit at night.
Whatever this is, I just want to remind you that you tuned into it and you listened
True.
this far into it.
What
So
the fuck
go
are you
ahead-
doing?
Go ahead and leave us a comment. Would you prefer the toilet to be excited to receive you, or would you prefer the toilet to be angry and upset
Next week we're
about
gonna talk
what
about
you're about to do?
Next week we're gonna talk about the sink and the shower in a combination question.
If you are shitting in the toilet, I'm gonna
No.
call Deborah, who's also HR now, because I need an HR rep.
You mean in the sink? I'm not talking about shit in the sink. I'm talking about when you wash your hands. Is the sink gonna be like, yeah, let me clean you, daddy? Or is it gonna be like, please, God, get those dirty things away from me? You know?
God damn it, wrap this up. Slutty sinks?
Is your shower gonna demean your, like, damn, that ass looking wet today? You better clean them cheeks, boy. I don't know what the fuck.
Dude, if you share a shower with somebody and it like sells you out, yo, Silas didn't wash between the cheeks.
Silas didn't wash between the crusts in his toes. He got crusty toes. Holy shit. Oh God. Listen, we would love to talk to you about how
I wouldn't.
we collectively as Time Well Met would love to talk to you about what your dishwasher and refrigerator think about your habits within the kitchen. But unfortunately, due to popular demand and due to the horrors that our toilets have seen, I believe that was time well meant. I have been dialed in to this drama.
Communication is